we might be witnessing a historic shift in American politics. A new Data for Progress poll shows that New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's economic populist platform, the kind of policies that make Wall Street executives a little nervous, okay, has overwhelming support across the country. And I mean overwhelming. We're talking about numbers that is going to terrify people in the corporate establishment and excite every progressive who's been saying, "We told you so," for years. So let's talk about what this poll actually shows, because the numbers are pretty stunning. All right. Mamdani's platform includes things like affordable housing, higher taxes on corporations and the wealthy, and free childcare. All the kind of policies that would normally get dismissed as too radical by the Democratic establishment. But according to Data for Progress, you have a large majority of Americans that support these policies. Now, here's the kicker. Even though these policies get majority support, only 31% of respondents said that they would personally vote for Mamdani. Much larger majorities, we're talking the 60s and 70s percentages, right, support his actual policies. I think that gap tells us something pretty profound about where Americans actually stand versus where they think they're supposed to stand politically. Americans want economic populism, but they don't necessarily trust certain politicians to deliver it. Okay, and let's be honest, probably some of the attacks against Mamdani, they focused on him being Muslim and he's brown and oh my God, scary, and on all the smear jobs against him probably had an impact on that poll. But we can solve that. We can solve that problem. Okay, but now think about what this means for the current power structure. Wall Street, corporate media, the donor class. All of these forces have spent decades convincing Americans that progressive economic policies are impossible or undesirable. They did that a lot during Mamdani's campaign. They have told us that raising taxes on the rich is class warfare, that affordable housing is communism. Yes, that's right.
Pink-haired communist.
And that free childcare is unrealistic. We just can't do it. We just can't afford it, guys. But this poll, it shows people that Americans are not buying that anymore. They're frustrated with rising costs, and we all are. And they're tired of the corporate influence in our political system. And they want solutions that actually help working people instead of just protecting the wealthy elite. Mamdani's platform is not some fringe academic exercise. It is a direct response to the economic pain that ordinary Americans are feeling every single day. And the poll proves that when you actually present these policies to people without the usual political spin, they love them. Here's where it gets interesting for the Democrats, okay? Now, the establishment has spent years chasing moderate Republicans, okay, so-called moderate, and telling progressive voters to be patient, work within the system, vote blue no matter who, everybody. But this poll shows the progressive economic agenda isn't just popular with progressives, popular with the majority, with most voters. The Democratic Party has been operating under the assumption that economic populism does not turn into electoral results. And that Americans, they really just want centrist solutions that don't upset anybody, like our donors, for example. But this data suggests that the exact opposite is true. Americans want bold economic policies that actually challenge corporate power. Look, this is not about identity politics or cultural issues, okay? Those do matter. Those are important, right? But this is about who controls the economy, who benefits from economic growth, and whether the government actually works for working people or just the wealthy donors who fund the campaigns. Let's get specific about what Mamdani is proposing, because it's not vague political rhetoric, right? We're talking about policies that would directly address the economic struggles that families are facing right now. Affordable housing. It's not just about rent control. It's about recognizing that housing is a human right, not an investment vehicle for the ultra-wealthy. Free childcare isn't about just helping working parents. It's about recognizing that childcare infrastructure It's essential economic infrastructure, just like roads and bridges. Higher taxes on corporations and the wealthy is not about punishing success. It is about asking those who have benefited the most from our economic system to contribute their fair share to fixing the problems that the system has created. These are not radical ideas. They are common sense solutions to problems that Americans live with every single day. And this poll shows that people understand that, even if they don't trust the politicians to deliver. Okay? And that's what's really significant about this poll. Okay? It's not just about Mamdani, even though he's absolutely leading on this. Okay? But it represents a broader shift, I believe, in the American political consciousness. We are seeing the same economic populist themes that powered Bernie Sanders' 2016 and 2020 campaigns, that influenced AOC's rise, and that's driving movements like Fight for 15 and Medicare for All. Yes, they still exist. Americans, I think they're starting to understand that their economic struggles are not personal failures. They're systemic problems that require systemic solutions. And they are ready for politicians now who will actually fight for these solutions instead of just promising to reach across the aisle or do a reach around on the rich to the people who want to destroy their lives. Corporate media and the Democratic establishment have tried to convince us all that Americans are, America's conservative, on economic issues. We need to have moderate politicians who won't scare voters with bold ideas. This is another poll in a long line of them that shows that is completely wrong. The Mamdani poll represents a potential turning point in American politics. Americans we're ready. We're ready for economic populism. We just need politicians who will actually champion it without apology and without compromise. The policies are popular, the moment is right, and the demand for change is very, very clear. This is what happens when you actually ask Americans what they want instead of telling them what they should want. And what do they want? Policies that help working people, not just the very rich. They want solutions to real problems, not political bullshit. They want politicians who are going to fight for them, not against them. The question now is whether the political establishment is going to listen to this data or keep chasing the same failed strategies that have left working families behind. Based on these poll numbers, the direction of where they should go is pretty clear. Economic populism, it's not coming. It's here. And Democrats, y'all need to jump on board. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.